weekend with Riley, but then she's got a few days that are pretty intense. So we're just like, leave her here.
Yeah.
You guys are looking for excuses.
Exactly. They're totally
you and PM were like, no, we don't want a dog. We don't want any pets. And then you get one. You're like, don't take the pet.
She's sitting right here. She sits right. She's wherever I am. She is.
She's going to podcast.
That's how we can say we record in front of a live studio audience.
Yes.
Oh, truth.
4 legs, 1 tail, 1 head.
Yeah, that's the beauty of having the dog with you all the time.
She thinks we're the greatest podcast ever. I asked her yesterday, and I'm like, well, thank you.
They get excited about everything you do. Everything you do is the greatest thing ever.
I know. And she has her own podcast, but she won't let me. She won't cue me in on what her show says.
She does. She thinks you don't understand.
Her hashtag is all golden doodles all the time, but she won't let me watch her show. So
nice.
I think what she does, she sneaks down here at night and gets on like right here, using our studios, like using our resources.
Right?
Yes.
On my chair, uses my headphones and gets on my mic because in the morning it'll have fuzz on it. I'm like, right, knock it off.
She is like, here's the latest snacks that I've tried.
Exactly.
If you do this goes over well with people.
Yeah, she's like that one time I went to the best friend's hotel. When it was
Yes.
Right.
That was the best show ever. Remember that we did that as well.
Yes, that was a April Fool's one.
April Fools.
I hope that we can do that again next. We didn't do one this year.
No, I mean there was COVID all over the place this year. I was like, that's probably not a good idea to do. April
Ricky describes it like as if you can look around and see it.
It's everywhere.
But oh yeah. Oh yeah, I get you saying. I can't. Yeah, hang in there, Jeff. I saw your elbows messed up. So
look, here, I'm gonna show it. Ready?
Yes.
We're having a raffle tonight.
We are not. Do not say that.
It's not my. Yeah, we're raffling off this. I got a Disney artifact we can raffle off. It's this pin. I stole.
Yeah, that won't be happening anymore. No pen.
No pens.
Item now. It's a hotel pin.
Nice.
Right?
That's a classic. That's classic now. I don't know. I was telling the guys I got peer pressured into buying a Madame Leota sippers from my brother, so now I have one of those. So
I know. I often wonder about things like this. Are these things that like 5 years from now I'm like, what was I thinking?
What was going on in my head when I decided to buy that?
You know what? That popcorn bucket though, that'll be classic.
No, that popcorn bucket may come home with me too. I'm just saying. So yeah, just saying.
Oh, we have a question from Matthew. So hang on.
All right, save it for the show. I only have so much knowledge, and I gotta get it all out at the right time.
You need questions? Put them in the chat. All right, here we go.
All right. Oh,
Matthew, we ate at California Grill 3 times while I was down there.
Wait, what happened? Oh, wait, I gotta hit this button. There we go. Okay. What number? 1764. Okay. Welcome to episode 1764 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Check out the site. It's got all the Discord links. It's got the links to all of our sponsors, everything you need to know in one place. And actually, it's a great mobile responsive app. So if you ever want to just grab the podcast on your mobile device, just go to BeOurGuestPodcast.com. You can hit play, bam, it's playing. You don't have to download it. You can stream it. It's pretty awesome. Ricky, we had to do that because there's no jingle bell jingle.
Bam!
So we had to get contractually obligated to do that a certain amount of time.
Exactly. That and charcuterie. We gotta get those. We gotta get those words in. Yes, exactly.
Speaking of charcuterie, the Queen herself is joining us today to answer your listener questions. We have Ricky. She lives over at the mouseforless.com where we get our news for every Sunday night's live call-in show. And, I get it here first. What's up, Ricky?
The news has definitely been a little crazy for, the past few days. We have Halloween information. We have Christmas information. We're just all in the holiday bubble, and I love it. So we're good.
Hang on. Whoa. I was just on Twitter, and I thought Halloween and Christmas were just canceled across the board.
Nope, not canceled across the board. There are still Halloween and Christmas activities happening at Walt Disney World and Universal. So if you still want to see the holidays, you can still see the holidays. It's just going to be different. So it may not be the same, but it's still going to be holiday goodness. So I'm excited. I get to experience both this year. So I'm excited.
Great. Yes. Knock it off. Okay. Question. It's going to be for you and for Pam here in just a second. I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
You go down to Walt Disney World this specific holiday season. It's very different Halloween this year.
Yes.
You get to dress up as an adult.
Yes.
What's your ideal costume? What are you going as in this special year where you can stroll the Magic Kingdom the lands as a character?
So I actually should think about this since I can. And I have a costume idea. And it's something that I have time to do now. I did not have time to do it when I thought of the idea in the first place. So I think Brian and I should dress up in a couple's costume, sort of.
This is sounding great. Yes, I love this idea already.
I always feel so sorry for Brian, but go ahead.
You should. So I am going to dress up as Jock, and he is going to dress up as Gus Gus, and I think it's going to be adorable.
Awesome. I love it.
When she said that, I thought she was going to say she was going to dress up as Jock, and then Brian was going to have to be Lindsay. What's that?
So I actually had this idea a couple of years ago when we went with Florence, and she was dressed as the fairy godmother. And I thought of the idea like right before we went down, and I'm like, how on earth? Like I did go shopping to try to find like costume pieces for this.
Yeah.
So I need to go and try to find.
What guy doesn't want to be a mouse from Cinderella? I'm saying, like, it's probably a lifelong dream of his.
If I give him this idea, he's gonna be like, what are you on right now?
That's what I would say.
I love it. I think it needs to happen. It's been spoken. It's out there in the universe. So
I actually, the reason I thought about it was I did buy a new dress yesterday. Thank gosh for online shopping. It is a Cinderella themed dress with the mice all over it, and I love it, and I'm so excited for it. So it happened.
Wow.
Thanks online shopping.
Okay, follow at Ricky Nibs for the update on the costume.
Right.
All right. Also joining us, she is freshly returned from Walt Disney World with a great tan and a smile on her face. We have Pam Forrester, co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel. Welcome back, Pam.
Yes, I spent some time in the sun and the resort pool, and I got pixie dusted and everything. So it's awesome. Really, really had such a great time. I'm sort of loving Disney World right now. I'm just going to say this. I mean, it's sort of cool to be able to have time in the parks and not spend much of that waiting in line, and then be able to go back to your resort and do stuff too. Like, you actually have time to do that. So loved that. What about being able to roll into the Magic Kingdom around 3:00 and walk onto Peter Pan? I mean, I just was like,
my dream.
I know, right? So anyways, it felt great.
So before I ask you about your costume, if you're heading down for Halloween, what was your biggest, because I think everybody's going down is having kind of some kind of personal epiphany on what is different. Because I mean, a lot of us listen to the show, we've gone to Walt Disney World so many times, we just have set routines. And like you say, we get there, rope drop, we do this afternoon breaks, we do all that stuff. Was there something that kind of stood out to you, like dining wise or like park touring or something you saw around the resorts? Because you stayed at a couple. What stuck out to you that, you might want to pass along to everybody too?
So I think, one of the things that did really stick out is that you can go into the parks in the afternoon in those last 3 or 4 hours of a park being open and get so much done. I was able to get more done in that period of time than when I've been able to show up at park opening, be there during extra magic hours, stay until way past I'm tired in the afternoon. I mean, it just didn't feel so exhausting, right? Like sometimes, especially in the summer, you arrive back at your hotel after being in the parks all day, after you burn the clothes that you had on because they can no longer be worn again, right? You're exhausted, and all you can do is be take a shower and go to bed, right? Because you're just so tired. But I felt like I had time to do the parks and experience so much there, and then still have a nice dinner, and then still have time in the evening to do other things in the morning and the evening, or anytime that I wanted. Like, I felt like more in control of my day. I didn't feel like timing was so critical. I didn't feel like pressured to get certain things done or whatever, or to go from this e-ticket attraction to this e-ticket attraction. We just sort of wandered around in the parks, and I did something, that we really haven't done in a while, and that's we spent a huge chunk of time like in one pavilion at Epcot. Like, the land is the perfect one, I think, to do that in.
Yes,
Since there's an afternoon shower every day, through this part of the year, you could go in there and see the movie and do the Soarin' and Living with the Land, and have a meal there too. Like, you could literally spend 2 hours in there, and it was really nice.
I've actually done that. It was like a joke between me and my brother. Like, we literally didn't do anything that entire afternoon but the land.
Yeah.
That was legit the whole entire afternoon. And
right.
So we literally say to each other all the time, remember that afternoon we spent the entire afternoon in the land pavilion?
And you have to think that the land is just one example, but this happens in other places. Like, when you think about the theme parks being designed, I don't think they were designed with the idea that you were going to run to this attraction, then run over here. Like, not only Epcot, but also, like, think about the Magic Kingdom. The fact that you can go into Adventureland and do all the attractions there, sort of still experiencing that theme of Adventureland. It sort of builds on itself, and I don't know. It just felt like a really great vacation. And I was happy with that. I was really happy to have the opportunity to experience it. And the other thing that really stood out for me was there were certain times, like, and they weren't always in the park, but one of them was when you see the castle. Like, that is a huge thing, and it still feels very emotional to me. Like, I feel like I missed it. Like, you want to run up to it and hug it or something. It looks so great, but it just feels so much like home. But there were other times too, like when you just go out and you're with friends at dinner or something like that. Those kind of things are things I feel like, oh my gosh, like, my heart has missed this. And I know that we've talked about this in different ways, but I really reflected on that and thought again about, all these things that I'd missed. And I'll be danged if I'm going to let myself miss any more of this. So, I mean, you have those moments when you're there, like, you just realize that. So anyways, I know that everyone has different comfort levels with traveling. I totally get that. And this is just for me and, my family or friends or whatnot, but that's how I feel. And it felt great. So boom.
Boom. So real quick, I think that we've, come to the conclusion that right now is the time for toddlers and seniors, because you're going to get get a good night's rest. And you're not
right
forth across the park for Fast Passes. You're not doing Space Mountain and going over to do Haunted Mansion,
no.
Jungle Cruise, and then going back to, Dumbo and doing this, star-shaped pattern where you're all over the Magic Kingdom. You've
exactly.
done 13 miles before lunch. All right, real quick before we get to the first question, Pam, quickly, you're going down at Halloween. What are you doing for your costume?
Oh my gosh. So we are not big costume folks. I will just put that out there. I'm not opposed to it. It's just that I'm typically not organized enough to do that. So I would love to do the Carl and Ellie costume. I really would so much. I want to make that happen.
I saw you. I can't look. I can't look.
It would be the happy Carl and Ellie. We'd write a different ending to our story. So
you'd have to carry around the book.
Yes, exactly. Go have an adventure.
Yeah. All right. Let's get to the first question. Let's go to the chat room. I know it's like 30 minutes ago we said we're going to do questions. Here we go. Here they are. Matthew McGuire in our live chat's asking Pam. We were at California Grill last week on September 8th. What's your favorite dish they're serving from the limited menu? So maybe if people don't know, Pam, talk to us about how what you saw as far as dining at Disney, because we've talked about how menus are kind of slimmed down. What was your experience with that, and what's your favorite dish right now?
It is. So I will say there are certain table services that have a noticeably smaller menu, but I will say that most table service restaurants have enough from which to choose. Some of the counter service restaurants, especially in the resorts, I feel like their maybe selection is not quite as, big as we're used to seeing, especially when like breakfast and something like that. But I totally understand. I think restaurants are trying to figure out, first of all, how to manage the new way that, the number of people that they have and the ordering and all of that. They're looking at that. So I totally get that. But I will not, I won't say that we didn't find things that we enjoyed at all of them. And California Grill, the menu may be a little smaller. Maybe they don't have all the sushis that they typically have and things like that, but we found tons of things. We actually ate there 3 times during the past couple weeks when we were there. So I will give you some of my favorites. I'm looking at the redone menu right now. First of all, if you like sushi, the spicy Kazan roll, awesome. We had that a few times. It's really good. It's not too spicy. It says it's spicy, but it's not super spicy. Also in that app and salad thing, they have a great sort of cheese plate, which is sort of like charcuterie.
Yes.
So
Similar.
So they have that, but they also have a good salad, the hearts of romaine salad, which we got a lot before. Of course, my favorite entree is still on their list, and it's the grilled pork tenderloin, and it's over that goat cheese polenta. It's great. But they also have the steak that they're famous for. They have a black grouper that has bok choy and mushrooms and things like that. So they had a lot of things to choose from. And if you make it to dessert, the Valrhona chocolate cake, boom, so good. It takes chocolate cake to a new level. It shouldn't even be called chocolate cake, because when you think of chocolate cake, you think of, and there are some legit good chocolate cakes out there, right? Like your grandma probably made one with mayonnaise on it that was like in it, if not on it, that'd be weird. In it, like that was really moist and stuff. This the Valrhona dark chocolate cake is such a deep, rich chocolate that it is awesome. And of course they serve it with like vanilla ice cream, or it's probably not vanilla. It's probably something, a little more exotic than that. But that's basically what it is. So good. So there are some of my favorites. And everything else on the menu is good too.
So, speaking of chocolate cake, where my favorite chocolate cake was from?
Where?
And it's from a neighbor. It was from Bela. It was from Top of the World.
Oh yeah, and they're serving that at the Wave now too.
I remember that night that we ordered so much chocolate cake that Scott and I. Well, I mean, we also did. We had a couple drinks, but we brought cake back with us on a packed bus heading back to Pop Century, and because we had so much cake. I don't know. I think I ordered like enough for like the whole table, and then he ordered enough for the whole table.
One piece is enough for the whole table,
right?
We probably had the equivalent of like a full wedding cake of this cake. And it was really good. It even had like the contemporary logo on the cake.
Yes,
like in chocolate.
Yes,
giving that thing away on the bus back to Pop Century. That turned into like the party bus going down World Drive. It was one of the best nights ever.
Pam, they have it at the Wave.
I believe that they are serving it now at the Wave. Check the menu. Check the menu. And by the way, the menus that you see on the Disney app are very accurate, like super accurate. So don't, anytime you have a question and you're thinking about, do I want to eat there or not, go in the app and check out the menu. You can always do that. So make a point to do that. But yes, I believe they're serving it now at the Wave.
Oh, I'm in. Yes.
It's at the Wave. I know, but going up and doing the Valrhona chocolate cake is worth doing at the California Grill. And by the way, we there were a couple times when Steve and I did not have an ADR, but we were staying in the Contemporary, and we walked up and they did let us sit at a bar. Now, we were only a party of 2, and it seemed to be sort of what they're trying to do to keep those people at the bar, limited. You don't have the lounge space anymore. It's been taken over by regular diners, but we were able to sit at the bar. And by the way, you can order the full menu there. So I was happy with that because, we're lounge people, but
yes, of course,
we liked that.
Speaking of dining, Bethany in the live chat's asking, Wednesday's the day that she can book her ADRs. What's usually the latest reservation for a park table service restaurant? Typically around, sometimes they'll be right up to closing time.
Agreed.
At least within 15 minutes of close.
And I've noticed that some of the restaurants are actually not in the park so much, but the ones outside of the parks are staying open later. One night we were trying to decide what we were going to do, and Steve's like, well, there's a California Grill reservation at 10:50. I'm like, whoa. That seems
It's
a little late to be starting dinner.
You wouldn't finish dinner till after midnight.
Right? And are the servers like hating life? They're like, oh my gosh, they just sat someone at 10:50.
I would have to ask, like, are you a teacher? Because like I'd want to know your profession, because teachers are inevitably like really fast eaters, because you get like a 30-minute lunch and you got to copy stuff and you got to pick up your kids from recess on time. Like I would sit teachers at 10:50. I would not sit a normal person like Ricky. I bet you take forever for dinner. I'm just guessing.
I do. No, I take forever with every meal.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yes.
We do too. We order a beer and an app and we sit there and we talk to each other. And then Steve's like, do you want to order an entree? And I'm like, well, let's split something. And then we end up splitting something. And then I'm like, oh, look, we split everything. So now we get to order dessert. So
Yes. We do the same thing. Yes.
You better, well, that's the thing. Watch teachers, man. They eat it with both hands. I mean, I was a teacher for 17 years. If you don't do that, you starve. I'm just saying.
it's worse now.
Oh yeah.
Because now you get no time to eat.
You know what? I eat lunch with my wife every day now.
Aw,
She's
that's
behind this
sweet.
wall. I know.
Yes.
To the kitchen table. All right. Next question is from the inbox. It's titled "No Dopey?" ? It's from Jenna. I heard Mike say that. Oh, whenever they start like that,
Yeah. That's not
I'm going
good.
to drop these into the old file without reading them beforehand. So let's see what we got here. Whenever those first 4 words come out, it makes me nervous. I heard Mike say that after he heard the Christmas plans that he's less optimistic about Marathon Weekend. I'd love to hear thoughts, reasoning behind it. I really want this to happen, but I'm also realistic. Sincerely, Jenna. Yes, I did say that on one of the live call-in shows after the announcements of what's happening with no Mickey's Very Merry, no Candlelight Processional. Okay, so I've had this floating scale with the Lizards. We've been having conversations on Discord and so forth. And the highest I've been for Marathon Weekend this is just me, just like looking at the world and guessing. And this I Run Disney. You might think they call me every morning to see, okay, Mike, what are we doing here? And they don't. I'm lucky if they answer my calls when I go to book my own race packages. So no, that's fine. I look at the world and how things are going, and Disney Marathon Weekend is a big race weekend. It's on the order of, a Boston Marathon crowd. It's on the order of a Chicago Marathon crowd, New York City Marathon, because there's just a lot of people in a place. And now we have seen some races go off in the last couple of weeks. I know our friend Wade ran one this past Sunday night. I know that Laurie, one of our Lizards, ran a full marathon in person, but it was limited to 100 people. So the thing is, with Marathon Weekend, you're talking 20,000 people over 4 days. And the thing is, I'm not so much worried about the race itself. You got the logistics of putting on an expo and getting people their packets, getting people on buses to get them to an orderly corral to get people out there. Now, my personal opinion is we will not see a Run Disney race until the mask mandate goes away. That's my thing. If there's a mask mandate, I don't think we'll see a Run Disney race. I think personally, if I had to guess, Star Wars weekend will be the next race weekend. I'm optimistic we'll get Marathon and Princess, because those are the two I'm signed up for. But, we'll wait and see. And the best thing to do, again, this is what I'm doing personally. This is what I would do. Train for Marathon Weekend. Hold on to your reservation, because if it happens, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. And it could still happen. I'm not saying it won't happen. I still think there are ways to get this done. We've been talking about it on Discord ad nauseum. How you spread people, how you have more buses with social distancing. You get people there. You, instead of running it from like starting the race at 5:30 till 7, maybe you start the race at 3 a.m. and go till 9 and really spread everybody out, with small corrals, get everybody on the course, masks before and after. When you're not running, there are ways to get this done. Disney has a huge incentive to get these runners down there and out on the course. It would be a great victory. So I'm saying, hang on. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I'm also looking at, New York City Marathon, Chicago Marathon, Boston, these other big time races. But I just think, we'll have to wait and see. I am optimistic, but also at the same time realistic. I'd say I'd still sit at about 30% chance if I had to give it up odds, but you can't bring in, it's really hard to get people close together right now. And you got to, I've said this a few times. I mean, with runners, you got to remember, running a marathon or a 10K, a 5K, it doesn't matter what the distance is. you do have people that are doing extended physical activity near each other, and you are spitting and snorting, and I mean, like, your body's doing all kinds of stuff you don't want it to do when you're running these races. It puking sometimes. I mean, it's not the most sanitary conditions, but we'll hope. So that's that. So let's cross our fingers, everybody, and your toes. Let's see here. Next question is from Charlotte, North Carolina. Andrea has it. She says, Magic Band's still active. Hey, all, we're headed down to Walt Disney World September 22nd to the 27th. We're staying off site. I think it's at Hotel Ricky stays at sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that off-site hotel. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a value.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will the Magic Bands we received from a trip 4 years ago still be active for park entry? Thank you. Ricky, what do you think from your old off-site hotel?
Yeah, it seems like for the most part, the Magic Bands are still working from that far back. I have a few that I've used. So
Seriously, from 4 years ago? I haven't tried
yeah.
it. I mean, wasn't the original lifespan supposed to be 2 years?
I think, yeah. I mean, just bring it. I say bring it and try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't work in the sense of like, it's not cut off after your trip. Let's put it that way, so you're good there. It's just based off of if the battery life still is good, and I mean, I don't know if it is or isn't after 4 years, but I mean, go ahead and bring it and try.
You know how you test it. I'm trying to find out. I can't believe I don't have a Magic Band down here. I have some. Do I not have a Magic Band with inside? That's scary.
That is scary.
I don't know, but you just lick the back of it. It's like a 9-volt battery.
Yeah, that's gonna be the good idea. Go ahead and do that.
We're not licking anything right now.
No, let's not lick anything.
That's true. It's yeah. I totally forgot about the world.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you can't lick anything.
No.
Okay, so there's that. Donald's got a question in the live chat. You know what I was going to say too is I've had Magic Bands that are brand new that don't work. So
that's true.
Either way. Hey guys, and Donald says, Ricky, we bought UAP Universal Orlando annual passes yesterday and booked 3 days next Thursday. What is a must do? We come to Walt Disney World for 10 nights over Thanksgiving and can't wait. Love the show from Seattle. Thanks for listening, Donnie. Go Seahawks. Okay, let me I'm going to throw some knowledge on you. I'm going to give must do's. At Universal. You ready? Strap in.
Okay.
The train.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back and forth. The Hogwarts thing, right?
Yes. The Hogwarts Express.
Yes.
Yes.
The motorcycle ride.
Correct.
Yes. Hagrid's.
Hogwarts, whatever. Okay.
Everything in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
The one that kind of makes you sick, but if you got a good stomach, you can ride it back in Diagon Alley. The Forbidden Journey.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
There you go. And you know what my favorite ride was besides E.T.? E.T. is a must do.
E.T. is a must do.
It's my favorite
trippy.
ride there. I know. It's awesome.
It's trippy as all get out. Like, seriously, so trippy.
Well, it kind of is. But I love that ride. That is like going back into the 80s so hard.
Oh, yeah. I actually got to ride it twice on my last trip just because usually when I go on Halloween Horror Nights weekends. And the part, that part isn't open. So I actually got to ride it and it was glorious. I did it twice. So yeah.
Mike.
They're not doing that right now, though, unfortunately.
I still love ET saying my name. Okay, finally, you know what my favorite ride was, though? I love Volcano Bay, by the way. That was the coolest part.
Yes.
And my favorite thing was Cabana Bay, the hotel. But other than that stuff, the Mummy roller coaster.
Yes.
That roller coaster is the jam. With the fire and everything. I love
it.
All right, so my must do's, Ricky. Now upstage me because that was an amateur move right there.
I am so impressed. You got some of the big ones. So good job, Mike Rollman. I am proud of you. Right? I know.
I didn't buy a wand. I didn't do that. So.
No, but the wand experience is kind of cool to get to see. Although right now I know they're still doing it, but I think you kind of have to want to buy a wand to really get the full experience at this point. Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, are you the guy I see about a wand? Yeah,
exactly. Yes. All right. So the one attraction that Mike did not name because he couldn't write it, but is, in my opinion, one of the best attractions in Orlando, period, is Spider-Man. It is just the coolest attraction ever. I know it was, built back in like 1999, 2001, somewhere around there. But like, it is still like the coolest thing I've ever been on, even to this day. Like, I'll admit, Rise of the Resistance gives it a run for its money, but it is still one of the coolest things. So Spider-Man, definitely. If you like roller coasters, the Hulk is incredible. See what I did? Yes!
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Oh my gosh, too funny.
It is seriously a rush though. I mean, it's such a thrill. So definitely if you can handle roller coasters, the Hulk is fantastic. Gosh, what else is just can't miss? I'm trying to think. Kong is really cool at Islands of Adventure. Yeah. So that's awesome as well. Yeah, that's, and you know, all these things are doing lots of great things with social distancing, so just keep that in mind.
I love the Minions ride. I just think it's so cute.
The Minions
I do. Cute. I like it.
I did Shrek for the first time the last time. Skip that. Don't do Shrek.
I don't mind Shrek.
I was done with Shrek and I'm like, all right, that was a thing. So yeah, don't do Shrek.
Does that ride have Donkey in it?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Donkey's one of the greatest animated characters of all time.
Yes, it does.
That is true.
And you know, as far as food, I mean, Big Fire and City Walk is amazing.
Yes.
Yes. Toothsome is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Antojitos is really good too. I actually had a really good meal. It was at Confisco. Grill. Yeah, that was in the park. That was actually really good. I got the short ribs and they were actually fantastic. So yeah, there's some really good options. If you want like counter service, there's I think Green Eggs and Ham has the tater tots that are like they put tons of different like toppings on top, so you can choose from different.
Tater tots is one of my favorite foods.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it is, and you get like a can. There's one of the item that comes in a can.
Yes.
Look at my trip right now.
Of Who Hash. It's Who Hash. And then the Today Cafe. They have some really interesting options for like lunches, and then they have their own coffee too, which I'm dying to try. I always forget that I want to stop and get coffee there, so I don't. But they have some really good coffee at the Today Cafe too. So
there's somebody that likes Blue Man Group. I don't know.
Yeah, she loves Blue Man Group. Yeah, but they're not playing right now, so you can't see them. So
colors out into the audience right now. It's probably not good.
And Volcano Bay is another must try. I think. Like,
yes,
I love Volcano Bay. I think that it's so innovative. It's so nice not to have to lug a raft or an inner tube around.
Yes, it's amazing.
I know, right? And their wave pool's awesome, but it's just themed really cool.
Yes.
You know, it's that tropical theme, and there's tikis that talk to you and stuff like that. So all that's really cool.
I know Portofino's not open right now, Pam, and I know it's one of your favorites, but what was that Italian restaurant that we ate at Portofino?
Mama Della's, I believe. We ate at Mama Della's. The food was really good too, and they have a lot of good restaurants there. Each of the resorts that's open actually do have great places to eat. At Hard Rock, you can eat at the Palm if you're looking for really like a good steak dinner. That's available. They also have the kitchen, which is available there. But I will tell you, at most of the premier resorts there on site, by the pool, and we always end up doing this because at Universal, if you're staying in one of the premier hotels, you have Express Pass built in. So you can do some of the attractions so quick. It's like having a fast pass all day long to just walk on things. So we always end up coming back to the pool at some point. They have the best nachos by the pool. So
nachos by the pool.
Nachos.
I know. And now Mike's thinking about Taco Bell, and they're nothing like Taco Bell.
Yes, I am. That's exactly.
Nothing at all like Taco Bell.
I'm sticking on that Mexican pizza, people. November 5th. All right, let's get Chris's question here in the inbox. He says, would you rather Walt Disney World Swan or Coronado Springs? We're planning for December, the week before Christmas. Pluses and minuses of each. All right, Pam, start us off.
I personally really would prefer Coronado. And I will say the Swan and Dolphin are both lovely hotels, but like so many other hotels in the area, you can stay at a Westin or a Sheraton, which is what they are, anywhere. And it doesn't really feel like a Disney resort. It just doesn't. There's something about a Disney resort in the way that it feels when you're there. The cast members that you interact with, again, nothing wrong with the Swan and Dolphin, but when I'm going to Disney World, I want to stay on property at a Disney resort because I love that feeling. I love being surrounded by the magic all day long. I love interacting with the cast. They really make my trip complete. I also like, just there's just some of the things that you've become accustomed to at staying at a Disney resort. I like that they have a quick service location and that a place to grab breakfast and I can count on it. I like that they typically have a table service restaurant where you can get meals there and you can count on that. I like the pools. I like the fact that Coronado has a really themed pool experience. It's that Mayan pyramid and it has a great slide. And there's the pool bar there, which you can go to. I like the seating by the pool. I like the music by the pool. I mean, there's just all those kind of things. They're still doing Movie Under the Stars. They're still doing some activities at the resorts. So again, those are things that you don't typically find at other resorts. So I appreciate those. I think right now the Disney transportation is really a huge selling point for staying at a Disney resort. It makes it so much easier to just get yourselves to the park. Mm-hmm. And they're doing a great job with the social distancing. You don't feel like you're on top of each other. And they have been sending more buses so that transportation is frequent and you're not waiting too long. So it's awesome.
I will say right now is the best Disney transportation has ever been because they are using their resources to get people from point A to point B. And,
yes,
the whole thing was, I've always loved that, even the buses, I've been a fan of the buses, but the worst thing about the buses, right, is, oh man, I'm crammed on there. I'm standing, I'm tall. So somebody's in my armpit, for 20 minutes. I'm heading back to Pop Century. Well, right now, everybody's guaranteed a seat, and you're only sitting by people, I mean, it's like, it is really, really nice right now. So.
And I do want to point out too that if even if you're driving, if you're staying at a Disney resort, I have to recommend the transportation, not just to the Magic Kingdom, but to other resorts, because there is no tram from the parking lots at this point right now. And the lines to get in to the parking lot are often long. And that has to do with the way that they're dealing with all of that and the fact that there aren't trams and everything is combined to that. It's not that there's that many people. It's just that the way that they're not opening up the lots so early and everything like that. So consider that as well.
And Bethany in the live chat kind of echoes that. It's just the first time my husband stayed on property and saw how amazing Disney transportation was. He said he'd never stay off property again.
There you go.
I echo what Pam said. I stayed at the Dolphin for a media thing because I was not really going to stay there because I go to Walt Disney World to stay. This is just me. I'd rather stay at All-Star Sports than even the Swan and the Dolphin just because it's the Disney feel. But, like I told Pam when I got home, I said, yeah, that hotel was awesome. The bed was comfortable. The room was great. They had dining. I mean, you can't beat the location of Swan and Dolphin. But I said I'd love that hotel if it had been in St. Louis, or I'd love that hotel if it had been in Chicago, or so. Like it had everything going for it, even location. But it's just I'm just a Disney homer. Give me sports, give me music. And I know that sounds crazy because the amenity level at the Swan and Dolphin, but I go to Walt Disney World for a certain experience, and I got to get it there. So that's me. All right. The next little feedback here was a quick review of somebody just got back. Emily sent this in, and she said she asked if we could read this during the show. And she said, I want to report back on an amazing trip I just had at Bay Lake Tower. Myself, my husband, and 20-month-old spent 5 nights and made some beautiful memories. My first tip I had read on a message board prior to my trip that actually to open the temperature, they opened the temperature screening and security checkpoint at 8:15 on the pathway to the Contemporary to the Magic Kingdom, and they usher you into the entrance of the park before 8:30. I did this by myself 2 mornings, and on the 3rd morning with my whole family. It was truly amazing, and I got some fantastic videos being alone in Tomorrowland, Liberty Square, and Adventureland. I think this is because of the few people that are entering the park. They all head to the mine train. That is true. A lot of people do go to Seven Dwarfs. The craziest experience I had doing this was when I headed straight to Tomorrowland. I was literally only guest there with a handful of cast members. I looked around and kept pinching myself. Then to top it off, I was not only the first person to ride Space Mountain, I was the only person on the attraction the entire time. It felt too weird screaming on the ride like I normally do, so I rode it in silence. Now that'd be scary.
Oh, that is scary. Wow.
because in space nobody can hear you scream.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. There you go.
Alien. It's from a Great Movie Ride, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Back in the day. Anyway, it was so cool and bizarre at the same time. Like, really? Who gets Space Mountain to themselves? This was on a Sunday, by the way. Another cool thing I got to do was walk over and do space while my son and husband swam. It was just the coolest thing being able to do that. Can you tell which attraction is my favorite? One other tip I have is for anyone staying over at the Contemporary Bay Lake Tower, they allow you to order takeout from the Wave. You just tell them you want to order food and go, and you can order it from the bar. It worked out perfectly for us since we weren't comfortable dining indoors at this point yet, but we could still enjoy the Wave's delicious offerings. Thank you so much for sharing my mini trip report and for all you do on the podcast. I'm a newer listener, but haven't missed a show since I discovered you guys back in January. I also run and have done many Run Disney events, so I hope to meet you and other lizards in the not so distant future. Thanks again, Emily. She's from Jacksonville, Florida. Good point.
Oh,
You're just
awesome.
Contemporary. So you agree on all those things?
Yeah, I definitely do. That walkway, first of all, to the Magic Kingdom is just one of the best things about staying at the Contemporary, really and truly. And the fact that you're right there, if you happen to have paid for a theme park view room, that you can't beat the view from the Contemporary. It's awesome. But even if you don't have a theme park view room, you can go up onto that 4th floor and walk out and see the Magic Kingdom. And there is something about being there at the Magic Kingdom. There's like that kinetic energy that's going on, right? Just being that close to the action. You can hear it. You can hear some of the things going on. And I love that. That's why I'm there at the Contemporary. And I will say, it's been a while since those rooms have been renovated, but they actually are keeping up with them very well. Like they don't feel beat up like sometimes happens. So I appreciate that too.
I will say, I've never stayed at the Contemporary. It's one of the few places I haven't stayed, and Mallory keeps pushing it, so we are going to stay there. I have my places I like. I'm such a creature. I need to do that.
What? Mike's a creature of habit.
What am I ever doing to Taco Bell? No. But I will say, that kinetic energy you mentioned, Pam, it's almost as if, because I've stood on that balcony out, on the 4th level where you can look over the Magic Kingdom, especially around sunset. It's gorgeous. Yes. But it's almost like you're looking out on like how people at Christmas time will put like a village under the tree or like on the piano or, on some kind of card table in their house or, something like that, where you have this mini little town that you set up every year to kind of admire during the holiday season. It's almost like it's a living, breathing, you see sound, you see motion, one of those, but you're looking at it right there.
It truly is. That's the beauty of it. I mean, that's part of what being so close to the action is like. And, I know we don't have fireworks right now, but just being able to see the lights and things that are in the parks, that's an awesome thing too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for today's Listener Question Show. If you have a question, a comment, or even a mini trip report like Emily, we sure appreciate that. Just send that to Mike@BeOurGuestPodcast.com. Put listener questions in the heading there so I can kind of get it in the right place, and we'll get that here on the show right away. Don't forget today's show, as always, as it has been for years, the best sponsor ever, the Magic for Less Travel. Drop by the website today. Just hit themagicforless.com. You'll see all the great offerings, all the free services that are provided by professional, passionate travel agents that know their stuff. And most importantly, especially in these times, and I've been thinking about this myself as one of the agents, is that 2020 has dealt us blow after blow after blow. But what we're getting now, I think the tide is churning. We're getting to where we can start to get back. And I truly think about this every time I book a trip for one of our guests. And I have guests that I'm booking their 25th trip to Walt Disney World. And I have many guests. This is our first time working together as a partnership. And the thing is, we all deserve some fun coming out of 2020. So I want to make sure that you have a great trip. All of our agents are doing the same. There's a great Magic is Here offer right now. And you might have even, you know what? I'm excited because I've been seeing commercials on TV for this offer. And it's
I love those commercials.
We had, remember before the pandemic, the commercial that was getting me was the dad sending his daughter off.
Yeah.
We miss you. Ooh, stop the commercials again, Disney,
Stop
but they're on TV.
Yep.
Heads up.
Sure.
that Magic is Here offer, especially for the folks that can drive in from those 10 southern states, kind of south states, man, it's a steal. It's a great deal. Also, the Magic is Here package is another great offer. Florida residents, AP holders, get down there and close out 2020 a great way. So drop by the Magic for Less, fill out that quote form. If you mention the show, I promise you I'm going to be working hard with you to have a great trip. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you shop online, like Ricky when she buys dresses. You probably don't use Amazon.
It wasn't Amazon that about the dress ad. Sorry.
When you do buy dresses on Amazon, use Be Our Guest Podcast. And if you want to become a patron of the show, thank you to all our patrons. You're really helping us keep this stuff all together here during 2020. Just visit patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Finally, I want to see on the Discord server. We are right now. People are chatting. I can see it in the corner. It's very distracting, but I'm a teacher, right? I had people that were throwing, spit bods at each other while I was teaching.
Wow.
I'm a trained professional. I can like block stuff out. My wife just walked out of her classroom. See, did you even notice? No, you didn't even know the class. Pages. But so just visit the Discord server, get in on the conversation 24/7. We have a live chat going. Visit beourguestpodcast.com.
Was that a selling point for the Discord thing? I get that, but you didn't talk about how many great conversations are going on over there. You just veered off into your own.
No, I veered off all over. That's what we do on the Discord server. We talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. So we're actually going to start. We're trying to get Jackbox games where we can all play live like trivia things too. So I'm not that smart, but I'm trying to figure it out. Anyway, let's go to beourguestpodcast.com. There's a link to the Discord. All right. Instagram and Twitter, right? Be Our Guest Pod, Be Our Guest Mike, and Facebook and YouTube. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast and you'll find us. All right. We're going to be back together on Friday where we're talking about Walt Disney World After Dark. It's kind of a struggle, but we're going to tell you what to do. And it's not just sleep, even though sleep is never the wrong answer on a Disney vacation. But we'll talk about some great stuff to do when it gets dark down at Walt Disney World on Friday. So until then, for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Wednesday. Time to get back to work. And we'll see you real soon.
Sleep is never the wrong answer.
It's never the wrong answer, dude.
No. I'll Ed McMahon that answer all day long. You are correct, sir.
Yes, correct.
I'll McMahon that one. I got to use that. That's funny. And there goes the lawnmower with the neighbor, of course.
Oh, I can't hear it, so you're fine.
I can barely hear it, but I think he has, how like you have the on-air light? I think he has one in his house. Mike is recording a podcast.
Mike's recording!
Let me jump on the old lawnmower.
Yep. Exactly.
I know we could actually have the windows open today. So when we started recording, I'm like, oh, I better close the windows because that's right when someone would be loud, I'm sure. So
we could.
That's right when the train would go by my house. Yeah.
The stuff in the air, though, is just wicked right now, man. I've been sneezing like crazy for like 3 days. Just like the mold is, it's usually like 1,000.
Yes.
60,000 right now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's insane.
That's definitely insane.
Crazy.
Here we go.
Oh, I just closed that and I didn't mean to. Oops.
It's a twofer. Here we go. 1766. Oh, dude, I forgot to announce the live show with Mike. I'll do it this time. Here we go. Welcome to episode 1766 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Friday to you. It's a 5-day week for most of us. We made it. That's right. Who came up with why do we got to work 5 days? That's hard. But 4 days were better last week. But hey, you made it. Pat yourself on the back and get ready to have some Mexican food. That's what you do on Friday nights, right? Not Taco Tuesday. It's Fajita Friday.
That's not what I do, Mike. Sorry.
You do. Creature habit. It's always Fajita Friday around this place. Anyway, before we get to today's show, we're going to talk about Walt Disney World After Dark. And it has changed here in 2020. I want to personally invite you to join us this Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We do our live show, our live call-in shows every Sunday night at that time. This Sunday night on September 20th, special show. Mike Bankhead's joining us. We're talking all things Run Disney. We're talking all things, not just Run Disney. Mike, believe it or not, Mike just doesn't run. He actually likes to stay in fun hotels. He likes to ride fun rides, see fun shows, and he actually even likes to eat at cool restaurants. So we're going to talk about it all. You don't have to have short shorts and sneakers on to tune in and call in. But hey, if you're a runner, if you're one of our lizards, I know what's going to happen. We're going to speculate about Marathon Weekend. It's not going to make a lick of difference. Run Disney doesn't listen to us. We go, oh, whoa. We can't cancel Marathon Weekend now. Oh, we're going to do it. No, they're not listening to us. But you know what? That's what we do. We're Disney fans. We're runners. It's just a bad combo sometimes as far as speculation goes. Because I still remember. I just rang the bell. That was not a fun comment or anything, but I just my foot was moving.
You're right, charcuterie. I rest.
Yeah, that's it. We're good now.
But I still remember 2017. We're down there doing the dopey, all a bunch of us, Scott and I, and hanging out in Mexico, having a margarita and nachos, and the forecast did not look good for Saturday of the half marathon. This was Friday. We're like, and it's one of those things, runners, and I think Disney fans do this, but especially the intersection of runners and Disney fans. We were willing the half marathon to happen. Oh, no, they won't cancel that race. That lightning, it'll miss Orlando. I mean, it was a line of lightning that was like from Alabama to, Cuba. Like it was not missing us. And it was the biggest, widest lightning line. Nah, those things break up when they go over metropolitan areas like Orlando, right? I'm telling Scott, oh yeah, it won't hit us. And of course it got canceled, but we'll figure it out and we'll get together Sunday night to join us there. But anyway, long intro. We're going to get to the show. Ricky's joining us. She hangs out at the mouseforless.com where we get all of our news. What's up, Ricky? Happy Friday.
She does hang out there. And it's Friday. So let's get into the weekend and have a good time. That's what I'm ready for. I'm ready to have a good weekend. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a good weekend.
Ooh, Rebecca Black.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I don't think I have any plans this weekend. It's probably going to be pretty chill. So although I say that now, when we record, and things may actually change because I'm now thinking about what might be going on this weekend, and I'm thinking I might try to do something else that's crazy this weekend. So we'll see. You might want to hang on and see what I decide to do on Instagram. My plans may change.
Weekend plans real quick. I just got to say last weekend, now where we are, like we live kind of close to being out in the country at our new house. Now we're really in this nice little suburban area. Okay. We like it, but there's an area 15 miles down the road that you go down there. It's this place called New Melly. And I mean, it is in the middle of nothing. Ricky, it's kind of by Washington, if you know where that
is.
It's in our county, but it's out in the middle. Anyway, Mallory is not only doing all-star cheer, which is like what she did where they cheer all around the country, then qualify and go to Disney, all that. It's crazy and competitive. She's also now cheering for the Junior Vikings, which is like the junior high cheer squad, because there's a junior high football team out here, right? They start in third grade playing for like organized football for our high school. It's great. No wonder
that's right.
I didn't know all this, but I'm like in heaven. So anyway, they are playing sports where we live in our county. They are not on the other side of the river, and they're about to have all kinds of fits about that because kids can't go to school or play sports, but we're not talking about that today. But I got to go to the first games this past Saturday. Because they have a 6th, 7th, and 8th. They cheer for all three. I got to watch 2 games. Dude, our team got smoked both games. But our high school team is ranked 2nd in the area. They're so good. They hardly ever lose. I don't know how they get so good from it was so bad in the second half. They ran the clock. They didn't even stop the clock on anything. It was like a solid clock, and they quit putting the score on the board. It's just 38-0 in the second quarter. Oh. But anyway, I'm excited because we get to watch football and go. And
that's a good thing.
And so I hope nobody from her squad listens to this, but it was their first cheerleading game, like since I started, it's beginning of new season. And they have a girl on their cheerleading squad that I call Left Shark. Because
Mike,
she freestyles. Like I know they haven't had too many practices, but she's like doing her own thing. And I love that girl because like she's her own person. Like like she freestyles out there. Everybody's like all sharp movements and clapping, and there's Left Shark. So it was fun. And they just need more practice. And then of course the DJ played the wrong song when they're doing their halftime show, and they all freaked out. They were like scattering. It's so fun being a parent, a cheerleader. It's just
ding.
Oh, dang. I didn't even hit that.
Put the bell away.
That's right. Anyway, another long story. Red Pam. The show's almost over, but let's get you in here.
Wait, do we have a Pam Forrester here?
I am here. I'm listening to this Left Shark. When Hannah, this was preschool Hannah, when we used to do dance lessons, parents out there, these are the lessons where the lesson itself isn't that expensive. The outfits you have to buy. I'm like, What is happening here?
Yeah, paid
Right.
dance.
Right. Yes. So, Hannah did a couple years of this, and after doing it for a few years, I realized that this wasn't her thing, because as I'm sitting there in watching the rehearsal, all the kids doing these things, my daughter raises her hand. Teacher, after the teacher has laid out what they're supposed to do yet, she's like, yes, Hannah. She's like, yeah, I want to do this instead. And she laid out her own dance. And I'm like, that's my daughter right there. The one that's completely not doing the dance at all and doing her own thing. Yes. And not only that, she announced it. She was pretty much like, your dance stinks. My dance, awesome.
Well, here too, in about dance, and then we're gonna get in. I promise we're gonna talk about Disney. Seriously, but I gotta get this off my chest now that you brought it up. Paige started dance when she was 2. I mean, she was a little bitty thing. They did this little itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini dance, and it was cute. Okay, she did this all the way up through like 8th grade. Okay,
wait,
like,
Paige?
Paige did. She also played lots of sports, but she did dance. I don't know why, but seriously, like her age group, like Hannah, like everybody, I think most girls did go through dance. Like it was a thing.
Yes.
But the thing is, okay, so we spent all this money on these costumes they wear one time, and like when it's recital time, it's like $400 or $500, and then you got to buy flowers for the recital, which are like another $40. And it's like, my brother-in-law and I were going to set up a flower shop out in the parking lot for dads. I forgot to buy flowers and just make it killing at the recitals every year. But anyway, that's how I was going to say. Paige is now 23. Can she dance?
Nope.
Not a lick. Dude,
not a lick.
Oh,
don't
we
worry.
often tell Hannah not to dance. We're so we're going to this thing. Don't dance.
Don't worry. I took dance for a few years too. I can't dance either. Yeah. It's fine. I can car dance like nobody's business, but when you put my legs with the arm movements, it does not go well. I don't understand why I can't.
I'm picturing Elaine from Seinfeld. I'm just going to say this.
It doesn't go well. I don't understand why. It's just my brain cannot function in the sense of like putting those two. It's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach at the same. Like I can't do it. It's just not. It's not something that I have skills at.
I mean, just in case you have like a 6-year-old, son or daughter right now that is in dance, and you think that you're already in probably $2,000 or $3,000 at that age, and by the time they get to 8th grade, you're probably in $10,000, on costumes and lessons and all that stuff. And it doesn't necessarily you'll be seeing them on Dancing with the Stars, or you will, but it'll be like one of the people that's first out that's horrible.
Yeah, that's true. So
right.
I didn't get it.
Topic at hand. That was fun.
Yes.
I love it. We're a family, man. We got to talk about this stuff when it comes up. All right. Disney After Dark. Pam, you just got back. Let's give some suggestions. When the parks close 6, 7, 8 o'clock, nobody wants, Ramen goes to bed at 10 every night. I get up at 5:30. I'm like, my life is like I'm in the military, but I'm not. It's crazy. But suggestions. How can you pass the time? Because you can't do as much as you used to be able to. Some of the pools even close earlier, 9 o'clock-ish. So, Pam, help us out. Somebody going down this fall? What are you doing when the parks close?
So first of all, if you can delay your dinner until after the parks close, go ahead and do that and have a leisurely dinner at someplace good. Take that opportunity to be the thing that you do on this trip. Each trip sometimes has different things. Sometimes you pay to go to the Halloween party or the Christmas party. We'll use that money towards a really nice dinner because you're going to have time to do it. So I think that that's always something you can think about doing. And also you can consider, going to one of those restaurants that's not at your resort, taking that extra transportation time. And typically what you're going to want to do after the parks close is you will take your bus transportation to Disney Springs. And then from Disney Springs, you will take another bus to your hotel. It sounds like sort of a rigmarole, but in practice, it really doesn't take that much time. So consider spending some time at a good restaurant if you can wait till then.
2 things with that. Plus, the Disney Springs transfer thing, you're always like, it takes too much time. You got nothing else to do.
That's right.
You're trying to find something to occupy your time. So it's not that big a deal. And, I actually like riding on the buses when I get a seat and you get space. And that's what you get nowadays on the buses. But also you mentioned, going to a resort to have a leisurely dinner. We've talked about this over the past month or two. Biggest hack is get that ADR and in park, whatever park you're in, if the park closes at 7, ADR $650. And then take your time, and you're gonna get some amazing pictures on the way out. No stress, and then you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
That's an awesome idea for sure.
Ricky, what else are we doing to pass some time after the parks close right now in 2020 in the Twilight Zone?
Well, yeah, exactly. Definitely the Twilight Zone. Yeah. So the number one thing that I did too was I got a late dinner as well. I did. The one thing I will say is if you do a resort, like Pam said, like we did, we did Kona. And of course, then the problem was that my car was at the TTC, and of course, they don't run any kind of tram or anything, or I should say, like the monorail isn't running. So yeah, we had to walk. So make sure if you are going to be doing something like that, you think about transportation, like Pam said, because we definitely would have gotten stuck if we hadn't thought about that. So, which we didn't.
There is an app for that. It's called the Shoe Leather Express.
Yes, exactly. So that's definitely something to consider is you're going to have to consider your transportation back to your resort or car if you do that late dinner, like Pam said, because otherwise you are in trouble. Another thing that you can do is you can like the big thing that we ended up doing was we grabbed like a snack or something like that, and then we went back to the hotel and just sort of vegged out in the hotel room. I know it doesn't sound like the most exciting of things to do, but really it was exceedingly nice to be back in our hotel at a kind of normal hour, not going to bed at midnight and just crashing and then having to get up early. I use quotes for early for me. That's that part was really kind of nice was I could enjoy my evening, relax a little bit, not feel like stressed for having to go to bed and just crashing. I could sit, enjoy a snack. I could, whether it was a cupcake or, whatever. We actually, since we were staying off site, we went and grabbed donuts and also Oreo cookies. So, we had a good quality snack there. But, there's lots of options at Disney too. So, they do have some really great snack options, whether it's in the food court or whatever. So you can grab that and just kind of hang out in your room, whether you want to grab a bottle of wine and enjoy that.
That's what Martha said in the Discord server. She got some sparkling wine from the gift shop at the hotel, and they had a great time on the balcony.
There you go. Exactly. So, we just vegged out. You can veg out watching Stacy. That's a popular thing for everybody to do, or listening to the great, Disney music that they play and pipe in on the TV or whatever. But having kind of a relaxing way to ease into bed is really, I gotta say, I very much enjoyed it, and I didn't think that I would say those words. So
I have a 2020 challenge for everybody. So what you do is you drink some sparkling wine on your balcony, then you try to find Stacy on the in-room resort TV because it's like in the 80s or something. It's like Where's Waldo? It's not great anymore. It used to be. It's a little challenge. Okay, so you guys, great answers, Pam, Ricky. I appreciate your efforts. Great answers. I will give the correct answer.
Okay.
It's one word: the Skyliner. You ride the Skyliner. It's a ride. It's transportation. It's like the horse-drawn carriage at Port Orleans, but in the sky and no horse. It doesn't poop. It doesn't smell unless you smell. But here's what you do. This is also a selling point as to why you stay at Pop Century or Caribbean Beach or Yacht Club. When you got access there to walk onto the Skyliner, is that you can take it in, or the Riviera.
Yeah.
For example, when Mallory and we got there, our first day, we went to the Magic Kingdom. It closed at like 7. We wanted to do something. We didn't want to go to bed early. So we just got on she'd never been on the Skyliner yet. So we got off over at the Caribbean Beach, walked around, got back on, went over to the Riviera, walked around. In the Riviera, it's just a beautiful resort to hop off and just walk around. We took selfies in those archways that have the mosaics for like Peter Pan or Tangled. Mallory got the hugest kick out of that, like being able to take those pictures with those great backdrops. We walked through the gift shop. We went up and down that skinny staircase, Ricky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And the thing is, somebody mentioned this also in the Discord server. We were having this discussion earlier in the week, is that you could make it almost like a monorail bar crawl where you just stop. It doesn't have to be a bar crawl. It could be a snack crawl. It could be any kind of thing, just to, hop on and hop. Because the thing is, it's even easier than a monorail with the Skyliner to hop on and hop off.
Yeah.
So simple. I mean, you don't wait. You just walk up to it, get on, boom, get off your next place, walk around, check it out, boom, get back on. We even we kind of made the one mistake that you can make, and it wasn't a big deal because again, we had time, is that we rode it all the way from Pop Century, transferred to Caribbean Beach, went to the Epcot end, and we got to Epcot right at 9:00 at park closing or whatever time. Yeah, it was 9:00, I think. Is it still 9?
It was
closing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, I mean, so there were people getting on, so we had to get in a line, but the line got swallowed. I mean, Mallory, of course, is like, she doesn't know how it works because she saw the line and wanted to kill me. I'm like, trust me, not a problem. This thing eats people. And no kidding, we were back on our way back in 10 minutes. And, it's just one of those things that I call it a ride to get to the rides in the morning. But it's just, especially after dark when it's cool, you got a little breeze coming through the cabin and you can just get off and enjoy yourself. And it's kind of the new hotness too. So
yes,
the Skyliner. All right. What else, Pam? What else can we do after dark at Walt Disney World?
So I want to remind everyone that one of the cool things that Disney is doing right now is that they make the fireworks available on the resort TV every night. And I believe it goes from like 7 to 10. So it just is on a continuous loop and you can check in and see that. So that's a cool way to sort of end your night with fireworks. But something that we did too, in addition, another television thing.
One thing you should have is like a happily ever after sing along, because you got to like at the
there you go.
Yes.
Everybody's got to do that little dramatic pause. Happily ever after.
Get some popcorn.
That'd be even better. Get sparkling wine. Try to find Stacy, then wrap it up.
That's it. Another thing that you can do, and I know that a lot of people are doing this, but we actually did this a couple nights, is we took our Fire Stick with us, or take whatever your Apple TV device, your Roku, whatever you use to connect to the interwebs out there, to make the TV a smart TV, to watch Netflix or Hulu or whatever you're doing to catch up on things. And you can really, catch up on some shows, or watch a movie or do something like that. So that's something to think of. On the televisions there, I will say too, that not only do they have the Disney Channel, but they also have Freeform and other things. And there are oftentimes a good Disney movie on that you can catch too. But bringing your own, make sure that you have it and you'll have the ability to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, the two correct answers to watch on a resort TV are Jesse and Good Luck Charlie.
Hello, of course they are. Why wasn't there more Good Luck Charlie? There was really only like 3 seasons of it, right?
But it doesn't matter. It's still just as good today as it was back then. That is the best show they ever made.
Man, I 100% agree with that.
Bob Duncan for president.
Bob Duncan and Amy Duncan as our first lady is going to be awesome. She will be I can't wait to see her at the official, meals. She'll be awesome.
Yeah, she'd tell you how it is.
It'll be all about her.
Oh my, yeah, totally. And she was on TV once, I think, as a weather lady or something. I can't remember how that went, but God, I love that show. Every character on that show was so funny. Anyway. Wow. We need to start a Good Luck Charlie watching podcast. That'd be kind of fun. All right, Ricky, what else you got?
I mean, of course, the easy answer is the one I'm going to take next, and that's to head to Disney Springs and hang out. Now, I will state a caveat in this, in the fact that Disney Springs will be exceedingly more busy.
The word exceedingly. I'm expecting you to say with exceedingly great joy, because you're like really the Christmas season. I keep hearing.
If only we knew the sign language for that. Like,
it's like I feel like I'm watching Candlelight Processional because they say that in one of those songs. So, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, I just want to make people aware, though, because I know that people have gotten to Disney Springs sometimes and been like, there's too many people here. So just know that that's where the people are going, because it's free to get in there. And so the locals are heading there too. So, just keep that in mind. Also, you're going to have lots of people who have a differing opinion on how to wear a mask there, so also keep that in mind. Even though Disney is doing a good job with telling people to put their masks back up over their nose and things like that, there's a lot more people to kind of police there. So just again, just keep that in mind. With that being said, though, there's a ton of things to do at Disney Springs. Of course, you have all the restaurants. Like Pam said, you can go and have a dinner or whatever. You can also grab some snacks. You can do some entertainment things. Like Splitsville is actually open now, so you can go to Splitsville. I believe the AMC is open too. So if you want to see a movie there, if there's a movie showing that you want to see, I know there's not a lot of movies showing right now, but there, you could go see a movie. You could just, wander around World of Disney like so many of us do. It's easy to get lost there.
You're like, anybody see my wife?
Exactly. So there's a ton of things that you can do, at Disney Springs that are entertainment-wise and just kind of distraction-wise. They still have kind of music playing and stuff like that. So that's kind of one of the things that I would end up doing is going to Disney Springs and just kind of hanging out, even though it's busy. So I
got to put this in because Bob, one of our patrons, good buddy, he threw in some things to do at Disney Springs and things to eat at Disney Springs because we were having this conversation on the Discord and he took it to another level. So here we go. Things to do. And he agrees with you, Ricky. Splitsville.
Yes.
The West Side. Catch an early movie at AMC West or AMC Movies. He said it closes at 8, he thinks. Well, they don't do the Amphicar right now.
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Are they doing it? Yes.
I'm like, actually, socially distant with the driver.
I do remember seeing them cleaning the Amphicar. So yes, you're right. They do. Yeah,
they are doing them. Yes.
Is there plexiglass between you and the driver? Maybe.
I don't think so. I think maybe people are just wearing their masks and going with it.
I don't know if they're letting you sit next to the driver. I'm not sure.
I don't know either, but I saw it like they were doing them all because we stayed at Saratoga for a while and we watched it a lot.
Wow. Yeah, because Mallory wanted to do it. I'm like, oh no, Mallory, we can't do that nowadays, day and age. Not that it costs too much money, but no, we can't do that. I was trying to say, that's interesting. Okay, cool. And he said the tether balloon flight at Disney Springs, something you could do.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always scared I would get up there in that quarter break and I'll end up like in Cuba.
No, it's fun. I've done it.
I don't know, man. It's high.
I think they probably have a few safety measures.
Yeah, a few. Yeah.
I've seen movies. You saw that guy with David Blaine went up in the chair like up the other day.
I don't.
We're not going to. It's not even similar. I'm sure that they have a cord and then another cord.
Yeah.
Like, this is Disney, for goodness sake.
And then probably another cord.
Yes. Exactly. Plan A, B, C, and D.
All right. He also says things to eat in Disney Springs, all shareable snacks and desserts. These can be varied based on taste, but the locations all provide shareables. Okay, here we go. Get ready to get hungry.
Okay.
Polite Pig, the Burnt Ends barbecue meatballs.
It's so good. Polite Pig in itself is just so good. Go there. Everything I've had there has been really good. And not only are the main things good, the sides. And make sure when you put this up there, mention Polite Pig because they do watch social media. But I will tell you the sides you need to order. Ready? Mm-hmm. You need to order the Brussels sprouts. Mm-hmm. They are bourbon glazed Brussels sprouts. So good. The cauliflower is really good. It's like a buffalo cauliflower. The mac and cheese, awesome. Everything that I've had there has been really good.
Oh, the baked beans are so good there. Baked beans.
See? I mean, they have a ton of great stuff and it's definitely worth checking out.
Now I'm so hungry. All right. He also said the daily poutine, get the classic poutine and split it.
Yeah.
The Boathouse, coconut fried shrimp.
Mm-hmm.
Glazed pizza. You can get the Art Lovers pizza. The Edison says the DB clothesline candied bacon.
Yes.
Now, I've seen that. That looks interesting.
I've had it too.
Is it? I mean, it's
good.
It's candy bacon. It has to be good. But I mean, the presentation, it looks like how you do your socks on the laundry,
right?
Or something.
Yeah.
So crazy. That's something totally made for Instagram.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, yes, I'm going to say it correctly. Amarette's Patisserie.
Yes.
The Mickey Moose.
Yes.
Mickey Moose.
So good. Oh my gosh. Don't share it, by the way. Just eat it by yourself. I mean,
you deserve one.
You probably should share it. But I didn't. So don't share it.
And he also says the Sunshine Churro, the Fruity Pebbles Churro.
Oh.
So
I'm going to add something else to this list because that was a really good list. A lot of good things.
Let me finish this last one.
Finish it.
Vivolo del Gelato. I know I
Oh,
messed that one up.
no.
I was
Yes.
on a roll there. He says the chocolate with a hint of, and there's nothing after that. So I don't know that. Whatever. Okay, so go ahead, Pam.
So we ate a few times at CityWorks. CityWorks
Yes.
is actually one of the new restaurants that had opened. And this is a great place to go. First of all, they have beer flights, which I know I've mentioned before, but I love a place that has that because they have like 100 beers from which to choose. So that's awesome for beer drinkers.
Are they on the wall? 100 beers on the wall?
Well, they're listed. They are listed. And when you go in there too, you scan it and then they all come up too. And they
Nice.
have seasonal ones too. So it was awesome. Yes, you could take one down and pass it around. So they have that, but they also have great appetizers. So check them out for that too. And they have great entrees. Everything I've had there is good, but I will tell you the one thing I keep getting again and again is the filet sliders. They are so good. Some of the best that I've had. So try those at CityWorks.
After around 100 beers, you're going to be at the Four House, which is still the same place.
It's still the same place.
Still the same place.
All right, Ricky, what about something else besides? Oh, you gave Disney.
No, I just did Disney Springs. Yeah.
Went off on a big
It's your
tangent.
turn. It's your turn.
You know what? Second best answer. Movies Under the Stars. It's your
Oh,
hope.
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. I like it when you guys both say in unison. That means
It's good.
it's good for the heart. No, I'll say, so obviously we know that Disney will bring out at all the resorts these inflatable big movie screens. Usually they're going to be around the pool area. Sometimes they're in more of a common area, outside of the pool, but relatively close in a public area. You can check with your concierge, your check-in desk to see what movies are playing what night. And what they've been doing, I saw this at Pop Century, and I've heard this at other resorts too, is to encourage the physical distancing between parties. They'll do something like lay out towels or something to kind of indicate, this is where we're going to space people out. And it's just, I know, like for me, I always say, oh man, when I go down, in regular years, 2017, 18, 19, we're like, oh yeah, we're checking the day we check in, you get that activities guide, what's happening at the resort. Like, oh yeah, we're going to do a couple. I love that, Toy Story showing on Thursday night. We're definitely going to see that. Never do. Because you're always in the park till 11 o'clock, like you're not going to do that. But this is a great opportunity. They boot you out of the Magic Kingdom at 7. The movie starts at 8. Grab a snack, grab a Coke Zero, and watch the movie. How cool is that? I mean, you watch Toy Story at Walt Disney World and it's free. Some of these things cost money. You're paying for that with your resort. You don't have to pay anything extra. It's a great idea.
I do, and I love that it's those things that you always mean to do.
Yeah.
That you don't get an opportunity to do. I love that.
That's true.
So, Pam, anything else that we can throw in there for folks to do after dark?
I think you would absolutely want to visit your pool. We found that while the main pool, typically they were keeping hours open pretty well. It was open until 9 or 10 o'clock, but the quiet pools were open even later than that and open earlier too. I mean, like at 7 a.m. they were open and they were going till like 11. So that's something to think of too. But again, the pool is something that we usually take time to enjoy, but not always. And this is like a chance to really do that, to really use some of those amenities at your resort. The pools are great. So make sure you check those out.
I don't know if you noticed this, but when I was down there with Mallory, Scott and his family were there and they were staying at Boulder Ridge. And so we were hanging out with them one night. We decided to swim there because we were, it was after 9. And so the main Wilderness Lodge pool closes at 9. So we were in the quiet pool. But the thing is, at about 9:05, that was no longer the quiet pool. It became, all the teenage boys were like doing cannonballs in and like, you can picture the Boulder Ridge pool, right, Pam?
Yes.
That big mast, like that goes to nowhere. It's just a big decoration.
Yes.
Probably about 30. I would not have been shocked if like one of those jumped off the top of that thing. Like they were throwing footballs. It just became party central because the thing was everybody needed something to do and it was only like 10 o'clock, but it was the other pool was closed. It was the only pool that was open. It was hot.
Right.
It was fun. It reminded me of like the middle of summer at the feature pool, but everybody's kind of, so I'm just saying, if you want quiet pool, go to that thing at like 3 p.m, dude. As soon as that feature pool closed, it was like a free for all. Dude, kids, you just picture like a 14-year-old boy just running, just and then Scott doing it. So I was like, whatever.
Of course.
It was a blast. All right, Rick, anything else? Disney After Dark.
Yes, definitely you want to do some shopping. So whether it's you leisurely meandering out of the park and, doing your shopping and then, or when you get back to the resort, even Pop Century. Seriously, Pop Century has one of my favorite places to shop.
Great shop. That's a
Not even joking. I love shopping at Pop Century. I will just wander through all their stuff for a good long time. So I would absolutely, head to your resort shopping area and just kind of wander through everything, because this allows you the time to, while you may not be able to find, like, of course, the theme park stuff there, you can definitely find some really cool and unique things in the gift shops at the resorts. So that are actually really cool Disney stuff. So I 100% would say just kind of shop and walk around. And one of the coolest shops that I think is at the Polynesian too. They actually have the Hawaiian Host little chocolates with macadamia nuts in them, and it's one of the only places that I know besides Hawaii to get those. So that's kind of a neat thing too. So yeah, there's lots of unique stuff.
I've gotten those from a friend that lives in Hawaii for Christmas.
I may have gotten those from a friend who lives in Hawaii as well, and they're so delicious.
That's what it reminds me of, George. So I got to ask you guys this before we get out of here, because we are, it's almost time to say goodbye to all the family here in just a second. But speaking of the Pop Century gift shop, Disney's come out with this line of clothing and accessories that are very 90s. They're the very bright neon colors. And I have a buddy. I'm not going to say his name. You might have.
We all know his name, Mike. We all know his name.
All in on this kind of clothing.
Yes.
Man, I mean, it's not like Saved by the Bell.
No, you know what it reminds me of?
So it's Vanilla Ice. I don't know.
There's that one hat that's neon yellow, and then it's got the teal blue bill, and the blue bill is plastic. You know what? I seriously think of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air every time I see this hat.
Too funny.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's Fresh Prince.
But Fresh Prince is making a comeback too. They're gonna do a reunion. I mean, it's like everything was 80s, and now God, this makes me feel, Pam. It makes me feel, because we're a little bit older than Ricky.
Yes.
It's making me feel old because I've seen the 80s come back, and now it's like, oh Lord, that's the stuff that was popular when I was in high school. Now
I remember the 80s too. I'm not that old. I mean, young, I guess I should say. I mean, I'm not that young. I do remember, I watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Hello. Yes.
I just want Scott to put all the stuff on at once.
You said his name.
Wait. I mean, he's got the hat. He's got the Mickey Mouse that has.
He's got everything.
He's got the Crocs that Alfred apparently wants. The lizard green Crocs, the shirts. I mean, but the thing is, I think it's the perfect time for that, right? I mean, we're just all kind of out of our gourd. We've been wearing the same clothes, this is my Zoom shirt. Same athletic shorts on for 7 months, but it's time to kind of splurge and have some fun on something bright and colorful.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it is very colorful, I will say. It really, truly is. And they have not only that neon green stuff, but they also have a lot of tops that I swear I had as a kid, really and truly, stuff from the 80s. Mm-hmm. They say it's 90s, but some of it really looks 80s.
Yeah.
So,
80s. Yeah. Madonna. Yeah.
Yeah, really and truly. So yeah, everything old is new as per usual. So
they can take the fanny pack back though. Take it back.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed. I want to snatch it off some people.
I don't want it then.
This is not your friend.
I know there are pictures of me wearing fanny packs. There's evidence. This is why I don't want them back. They look hideous then. They look hideous now. So.
Easy. I have a friend who even got the fanny pack. So
yeah.
Easy killer.
Yeah, no.
Okay, we're wrapping this up. Shout out to Katie, who's tuned in for the first time. She's down in Sydney, Australia. She watches us live.
That's awesome.
Hi, Katie.
Okay.
All right, we are going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Drop by the Facebook page or the Discord. Let us know what you do at Walt Disney World After Dark here in 2020, where you're not staying out till 2 a.m. at the Magic Kingdom. Remember this? I stayed out at the Magic Kingdom one time till 3 a.m. That sounds so crazy right now.
Yeah.
It was 7. We just kept giving.
Right. Yep. I did the 24-hour day.
Oh man, that's
yes.
See, the older I get, the more that doesn't sound fun. It sounds like something to be a punishment.
For your punishment.
And that was after working all day and then driving down, and then I went into the park. So yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to get out of here. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by the great folks over at the Magic for Less Travel. When it comes time to head to your next Disney destination, whether that's with Cruise Line, Disneyland, Adventures by Disney, and especially Walt Disney World, just drop by the magicforless.com. Check out all the great free offerings. And while you're there, fill out that free, no obligation quote form, mention the show, an agent will get back to you right away, and we'll be planning that trip together. We're going to make it awesome. You deserve it. We're going to make it happen. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link when you do that shopping online. Buy that Halloween candy on Amazon. Buy that costume to wear to the Magic Kingdom here this season. And just drop by beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon first. And if you want some extra content in your week, and who doesn't want Mike in the Midwest every Thursday? I think, you know what? Last week we talked about my grandma, where my grandma used to take us around town, the grandkids, and the good stuff she used to make on Sundays. Everybody's got a grandma story. We got a lot of feedback on YouTube on that. So just drop by patreon.com/beourguestpodcast for all the details there. And join the Discord server 24/7. Live chat going on. Just go to beourguestpodcast.com and click on the Discord link. And I'll see you over there. Don't forget, this Sunday night, one more time, live call-in show with Mr. Mike Bankhead, captain of the Be Our Guest Podcast Lizards. We're talking all things Run Disney, but also Disney in general. So join us either on Facebook or YouTube at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central for 1 hour. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll put a chair out for you. Give us a follow on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Be Our Guest Pod and at Be Our Guest Mike. And please do search for us on Facebook and YouTube as well. All right, time to get out of here and wish you a great weekend. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike saying stay safe, have a lot of fun, and we'll see you real soon. Yay. That was fun. That was a really weird show, but that was a fun one.
When aren't they weird?
That was extremely weird. And then you called Scott out on his fanny pack. So yeah.
Call him out.
You totally called him out. You both did. You're testing your friendship, buddies.
You're the one who said he's the one who bought the fanny pack. I was not calling him out specifically.
What's wrong with it? It's not a fanny pack. It's a waist carrier or something.
I'm out.
You don't have
I don't want it.
Fanny.
I don't want it. No, I don't want it. They can keep it.
Fanny. All right.
Yeah.
I'm out. Talk
All
about
right.
All right.
Thank you.
See y'all.
See you, everybody.
Everybody, bye.
Everyone,
Bye.
thank you. Bye.